roundtable panel discussion brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And before I share our exciting agenda, a few housekeeping items. After the panel discussion, we'll have audience Q&A. Attendees, please submit questions via the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll get to as many as possible in the hour. Now, an answer to a frequent question. You'll receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. So with that, let's get to our agenda. First, we'll have introductions to our panelists, followed by a quick word about our sponsor, Oracle NetSuite. And then we'll cover some key statistics that will give us a backdrop to the discussion. And then we'll get right to our panel discussion with moderator questions, including the Great Resignation, compensation trends, retention best practices, and recruitment best practices. And then, as mentioned, we'll have Q&A. So with that, I'd like to introduce our panelists. Brenna Albert, EVP and Corporate Controller of Cresco Labs, a vertically integrated cannabis and medical marijuana company that went public in 2018. Brenna was recently recognized as the Controllers Council 2021 National Controller of the Year. Next, we have John Bawley, CEO of Future View Systems and former CFO for 35 plus years, and a regional finance director for Bristol Myers Squibb. With 2 New York Stock Exchange IPOs under his belt, Future View Systems is software solutions for ERP data extraction, integration, and automation, along with turnkey financial planning, FP&A analysis tools. Next, Jennifer Pindler is Controller of Watchdog USA, a real estate project management service and formerly a controller at Reef Technology. And last but not least, Bob Lindeman is Managing Director of the Overture Group, an executive search and compensation consulting firm specializing in corporate finance. He's a former partner of top 10 accounting firm RSM McGladrey, now RSM. Ladies and gentlemen, our dream team today, welcome. Now let's, as mentioned, a few words about our sponsor. Oracle NetSuite is a cloud-based business management platform used by more than 28,000 organizations across the globe. NetSuite seamlessly integrates financial planning, AR and AP, revenue recognition, tax management, and other core accounting functions with real-time financial visibility to improve financial performance. To learn more, visit netsuite.com and request a free product tour. So with that, let's go through some key statistics. First, the Great Resignation. It may have been coined in 2022, but in 2021, all records were broken with 47 million resignations, nearly 4 million a month, topping the previous record in 2019 of 3.5 million a month. So this was 2019, obviously pre-pandemic. So it's not all pandemic related. In January 2022, we're continuing this breakneck pace, according to the Society of HR Managers and Wall Street Journal. Let's go on to video now. All right, another key statistic, Fortune 500 CFOs turnover has been reported by Russell Reynolds from 14% historical to 18% from 2022 through 2021. Now, as we drill into this further, almost half of that turnover is due to retirement. And of course, there's been a lot of IPO activity and a lot of SPAC activity. So many of these CFOs may be cashing out with equity. So that could be a driving force, along with the fact that Fortune 500 CFOs can be very experienced and mature and are probably retiring after an activity like that. So Now, if we drill down further, 27% of that turnover was a new role within the existing company, and 23% was a new role with a new company. So again, that report is from Russell Reynolds. I can send you that link if you send me an email. So another key statistic is a looming CPA supply crisis. So obviously CPAs are often the funnel for future controllers. And a really daunting statistic is that 75% of today's CPAs will retire in the next 15 years. This is according to AICPA. And along with that, accounting firm turnover is very high at 20% a year, according to Accounting Today and others. And last but not least, new CPA pipeline candidates, the lowest in 13 years. That's the AICPA trends report. So all these factors, maybe these supply factors, but I think other factors like the growing complexity of corporate finance and controllers and CFO roles is increasing compensation. And I'm going to ask Bob Lindeman to lend his experience to talk about that for this statistic. Bob?
Yeah, the one thing I want to add, Neil, is that in addition to being and I'll put my camera on, in addition to being an executive recruiting firm, we are a compensation consulting firm as well. So a lot of our data is driven by surveys, not just what we're seeing from our search clients. But really, with respect to controllers, probably 4 or 5 years ago, we started seeing the increases for controllers running at about 2x the national average for managers and executives. So managers and executives were really running around 3%, and I'm talking about base salaries right now. And it really started pre-pandemic. They were running about twice that amount. And that's continued through the great pandemic. Also, what we've seen is when people, and those are for people in their current roles, for people switching, normally pre-pandemic, you would see people leaving for maybe 3, 5, 10% when, for a lateral move, no promotion, controller to controller. What we're seeing now is 8 to 10% increases on average, and sometimes as high as 20% for lateral moves. So that gives you an indication how hot the market really is.
Absolutely.